Banditry. Northern governors, elders, parents facing consequences of their negligence. Ibrahim Abubakar. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. Public commentator Alhaji Ibrahim Abubakar has blamed the lingering banditry activities and uncontrollable almajiri system in a state of lack of education and proper upbringings of children by their parents and guardians. The commentator stated that the children did not start these dangerous acts from their mother's womb or even after they were born, but their parents and guardians were unconcerned about their good upbringings. He blamed the state government for allowing the uncomfortable influx of almajiris into the state without controlling the situation by either forcing them out of the state or enrolling them into registered Islamic institutions in the state. He said that he was very optimistic that education remains the bedrock and major prerequisite to any meaningful development anywhere in the world. The public commentator lamented that most of these crimes that are bedeviling the north today have their roots in lack of education and poor upbringings by the parents and guardians of these children who were innocent from childhood. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Daily Post in GOVS and for our state capital, Alhaji Abubakar tasked the state government to put more effort in the attainment of a noble goal of providing effective and qualitative education, both Western and Islamic education, to its citizenry. Considering the significance of education in this modern world, the state government cannot afford to treat education with a mere wave of the hand, but accord topmost priority to the sector through teachers' training and retraining as well as good as welfare packages, he said. He recalled that late Chief Obafemi Awolowo of the blessed memory warned the northern leaders of then, telling them that the youth whom you have refused to educate would turn against the northern region in the future, stressing that the warning of a late surge has been brought into sharp focus. According to him, the government should take a critical look at the level of education in the state, pointing out most of the crimes being committed by these youth cannot be unconnected to the lack of education, saying that the number of almajiris continues to increase on a daily basis. It is unimaginable that a worker who earns less than 35,000 naira per month would have about 4 wives and a huge number of children feeding on a meager salary. Feeding, clothing, medical bills, and other necessary expenses are attached to the 35,000 naira per month. It becomes obvious that since the man's monthly income cannot satisfy the family needs, he has no option than to push his children to the streets by handing them over to private malams in the name of Quranic studies, where they'll be given licenses to roam the streets and seek for arms. Most of the almajiris are underaged and helpless children who are supposed to be in schools and in their parents' care, but now remain the streets begging for food and money, which has indeed posed a serious challenge to the northern elders of our time. It would be unfair for one to blame only the state government for this almajiri issue. The northern leaders are not doing anything tangible to salvage these disturbed acts, ravaging the entire north, which is one of their responsibilities. The northern elders have been keeping quiet over the years and have allowed this misfortune to befall the northern region. Now, mass killings and kidnappings have taken over the entire north uncontrollably. Alhaji Abubakar urged the government to emphasize seriously on the education sector, both Western and Islamic education, and ensure that every school-age child is in school, advising the state government to push in a bill to that effect for consideration by the State House of Assembly. Speaking further, the public commentator urged the state government to implement policies and programs that will promote education and be resolute in championing the crusade for compulsory basic education in the state. After all, primary and secondary schools belonging to the state government are free to the indigenes of a state, but no political will to make public school function effectively, as the highly placed individuals do not enroll their children into public schools but private schools. So how can the education sector be given top priority? I bet you if the children of a well-to-do individuals in the state can be enrolled into public schools, definitely the standard of education in Zamfara State will improve, because the government would be serious about education. I am convinced in my mind that no other time to address the educational problem of Zamfara State could be more auspicious than now that democracy is being threatened seriously because of armed banditry activities in the state. If their parents and guardians have given them proper Western Islamic education or even gave them good upbringings, they would not have been sucking innocent human blood as they are doing now. It is clear now that these criminals have sold their consciences to the devil, so wasting innocent lives means nothing to them. Some of these bandits still have parents who would be blaming themselves for the mistake they had done. Now this is beautiful. And you know what makes it more beautiful? That it is coming from somebody from the region. Like, it is giving me joy now. Look, yes, the state government has a part to play. Sincerely, you cannot take it away from them. In fact, they have a bigger role to play because most of these parents that give birth to these children, they are, how am I going to put it? They are not themselves educated. They're not educated. It's like they grew up, they met the system, and they just continue it like that. Right? Unlike some parents who have little education, and so they want the best for their children. In fact, the reason they brought that child into the world is that they would grow. The child will one day grow to be better than themselves. Now, while the state government has a bigger part to play, the parents of these children also have a part to play. Like I said, I cannot imagine that you cannot fend for yourself right now. As it is, you cannot fend for yourself, and you end up giving birth to not one, not two, not three children. I do not. So, sometimes it is like the main aim of giving birth to those children is to send them to the streets. Like, I feel like, why? You are barely making it through life on a daily basis. You are barely taking care of yourself. And you keep giving birth to children just because you can give birth to children. I mean, God gave each and every one of us what we call common sense. If you're having children that that you're bringing them, you're responsible for those children. Sincerely, you are solely responsible. You will not come and include God in your problems. He has given us common sense to know that this particular thing, it is becoming too much. That is why they say moderation is key. You know that your pocket size will deal with only one child for now. You give birth to that one child and make sure you give him the best of the best. I tell you, if education finds its way to the north, you see all those things calling and marjorie, you see this banditry, it will reduce. But unfortunately, it is on the rise because there is still no education. Even for this one that have grown, they will feel that what they have learnt is the best. They will feel it is a norm to go out, kill people and get money. That is it. So yes, why? This is a very beautiful speech. Now, what are the solutions now? They should make sure they start correcting it. The schools that are not effective before now, they should work towards it. These bandits, if the ones that have repented, like the federal government said, I do not know what they are going to, but I know that education is key, and of course, both informal and formal education. So on this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.